Trinity of Sin, Pandora, number 3, written by Ray Fox, art by Daniel Sampier. This is, of course, another tie-in to Trinity War, and this one actually takes place dead center in the middle of Justice League Dark number 23. So, first and foremost, we open up in Mount Song in like the 1300s, and Pandora is being trained by some sage guy, and this is like just how the whole issue goes, is that it's her past where she's being trained by some sage person, and they speculate on what is evil. So she's talking to this guy, and he's just like, evil is just what happens when you disturb the natural order. If you push something out of line, evil is the correction that is that. The world in natural is good. And Pandora's like, no, I literally released evil out into the world, so it's not that. And he's like, I mean, you're asking me my opinion here. And she's asking for him to teach her how to basically, quote unquote, kill this evil. But he's like, there's nothing to kill. It's like the seasons changing or trying to punch a flood. Like, you can't do it. It's impossible. So we see what's going on now is everyone in Lex Luthor's cell is fighting over Pandora's box, as was in Justice League Dark. But hovering above them seems to be ghostly apparitions of the 7 deadly sins. And Pandora's like, I can see them. They're there. They're just bathing in this chaos. But like, how do I fight them? And we see all of the different sins are like chiming in saying like, oh man, these superheroes, they're super chaotic and we love it. Feel their pride, feel their envy over the box. Like, all of this is so good for us. And we are going to continue to conquer this world in your name, mother. And she's like, no. So then we cut to almost 1600, where she's training with, I'm going to call him Robin Hood. She calls him Adalger. I'm sure that's like an actual historical figure. He's Robin Hood. So training with him, and he's like, well, you know, there was a man named Aquinas who said that evil might be something that's required for a perfect universe to exist. And she's like, no, I literally released them out of the box. That's not the case. And he's like, all right, well, you didn't come to me for like ethics. You came to me to learn how to stop arrows with your hands. So get ready to catch. So we see once again in the cell, Wrath is charging them all up. He's like bathing on their anger and whatnot. Pandora pulls her guns and he's like, Mom, you know you can't shoot me even with your mystical magical weapons. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And all the other sins are like, just give up. Let us do our thing. You don't got to worry about a thing. Mom, this is all for you. And she's like, no, please. So once again, she freaks out. Then we cut back to 1700s, where she's meeting with an old woman in the woods, and apparently she's basically asking her like, hey, I want to get more specific here. Instead of saying, how do I destroy evil? I want to know specifically, how do I destroy spirits or like bodiless entities? And the woman's like, here, take this bowl. You see that liquid inside? It's not liquid. It's a spirit. I can do that. I can make you do that. But she goes through this whole long metaphor that basically ends up on with, you can see yourself in the spirit's reflection. That's how you can impact it, is when you can see yourself in it. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. But they continue their lessons. Then we cut away to Baltimore. The guy, Marcus, I believe his name is, the guy who made weapons for Pandora. The FBI agents, sorry, not FBI, Shade and Argus agents, I'm probably going to call them FBI agents again, show up and they're like, hey, Marcus, here's the thing. We know that you make weapons, and like your door's not even locked to your little space here, so clearly you think you've got some powerful friends. Have you seen this woman? And they hold up a picture of Pandora. He's like, I'm not going to talk to you, and I really have no reason why. And they're like, okay, well, we have this video of Pandora shooting at a bunch of superheroes. She is like grade A supervillain, and those are definitely your weapons in there. So either you're going to talk, or we're going to have to bring you in. What's it going to be? And I want to make clear, the question that they're asking him is where is Pandora? Meanwhile, they have a video of Pandora, like a live feed. So what's the real question? Like, clearly they know where she is. Regardless, we go back into Lex Luthor's cell. Everyone's still beating the crap out of each other. And as she stares at the box and all the people fighting each other, she does, like, the best way I can describe it is that scene in an anime where, like, the main character flashes through a bunch of, like, lessons that he learned, and, like, all of a sudden it clicks and, like, the heroic music starts. She literally starts sparking with energy. Like, it's so cliched, but regardless, she's like, I get it now. I understand. I have to see myself in them. And she runs up to him, and all the sins are like, oh no, something has changed. She's different now. What's going on? And we see her flashing back to what all of her mentors said. And she says, you know what? I am envious. I'm envious of them because they do so much. They've lived these lives that I could never live because of you. I feel true envy of them. And she runs up to Envy and shoots him in the head. And Envy goes down. Everyone's like, oh my, is Envy dead? Envy's dead. How are you doing that, Mom? And she just stands there in the smoke and energy. She's like, oh yeah, who's next? So, I mean, after this, it's not a tie-in anymore to Trinity War, so I don't know if we're going to pick up immediately after, or if it's going to be a thing of like, yeah, you know, she just didn't kill the rest of the sins right then for some reason, but I'm sure we'll get to it. I gotta say, this at least gives Pandora something to do. For this entire, I mean, it's only been 2 issues so far, but for the 2 issues, it just felt like she was the bearer of the MacGuffin. It didn't really feel like she herself had anything to do. So now that we've introduced this idea of, no, she has this anime protagonist power where she alone is able to take this on, I'm down with it. I think that it is a good enough plot to go with. Mind you, I don't know how it makes any sense, considering the idea of there clearly still has to be evil once the sins are gone. So she can't, like, what we're basically saying here is that either her mission means nothing, or no character in the DC universe can ever feel envy again. So it's one or the other. And frankly, I think it's going to be the former. So overall, I'm going to give this one like I'll give it a 7. But it's a low 7. It's like right bordering on a 6.5, because it is... I just got a kick out of how straight up anime that last few pages were. Like, I could hear the soundtrack playing in my head of like the heroic music starting up. It just made me laugh. So that's alone is getting it the 7 instead of the 6.5.